The joys of Christmas surprises. Turn to channel 22. The week leading up to Christmas felt heavier than usual because we both knew Andy would be heading out just before the holiday. The house was still bright with decorations, but even with the tree lit, I could feel the space where he would be missing. Andy liked to act tough about it, saying that he would be fine being on the road, but I knew better. For all his size and rough edges, he had a very tender heart. The morning before Christmas, as we were loading up to leave, he carried a box into the living room and set it by the tree. "Don't open this until I'm gone," he said, giving me that look that meant he was serious. I promised, even though I was desperate to know what was inside. That evening, when I came home and the house was already dark, I turned on the tree lights and finally pulled the package into my lap. His handwriting was scrawled across the tag, "To Janet, with love, open when I'm down the road." My hand shook a little as I peeled back the paper. Inside was a small CB radio. At first, I just stared at it. Then I noticed another note tucked under the cord. I already set up the antenna on the roof. Just plug it in. Turn the dial to channel 22 and give me a call. 22, the day we got married. I rushed to the kitchen and plugged it in, my heart racing like it had the day we said our vows. I set the knob to channel 22, pressed the button and whispered, "Andy, are you there?" For a moment, there was only static. And then his voice came through, low and steady, as if he were right beside me. "I can hear you, sweetheart." I nearly dropped the microphone, then pressed it back to my lips. "Andy, I can hear you clear as day." He laughed, and the sound filled the whole room. "Well, now you've got your own rig. You can ride with me anytime you want." Before long, we started playing with the names, the way real truckers did. Andy tried out Giant Grizzly because of his size, but I teased him and said, more like Teddy Bear. He chuckled and asked what mine should be, and I told him Songbird because he always said I hummed around the house. That was when another voice broke in over our static. "Well now, listen to this, fellas," a trucker dawdled. "We got ourselves a teddy bear and a songbird making the airwaves sweet as pie." Andy groaned, and I buried my face in my hand, but the stranger kept on laughing. Finally, he said, "You two lovebirds carry on. I'll give you the channel. Merry Christmas." His signal faded as he switched off. I curled up in Andy's chair by the tree, holding that little microphone as though it were his hand. We talked about the roads he was driving, the weather rolling in across the plains, and the twinkle lights I had strung in the window. At one point, I put on our favorite Christmas album on the turntable, the same one we had purchased on our first Christmas together. The soft scratch of the record filled the background as the music floated through the room. "Do you hear it?" I asked. "I sure do," he said. "It almost feels like I'm home." We spent hours like that, our conversation carrying us across the miles. He told me about the dinner pie that he had for supper, and I told him about the neighbors who had stopped by with cookies. We traded memories of Christmases past, laughing softly at things we could only barely remember. When I finally looked at the clock, it was nearly midnight. "Andy," I said, my voice catching, "thank you for this. It feels like you're here with me." "Janet," he answered, his voice warm and sure. "That's exactly why I did it. I couldn't stand the thought of us being apart and not hearing your voice on Christmas Eve." I pressed the radio to my chest. We might not have gotten to spend Christmas together in person that year, but we shared something I'll never forget. Merry Christmas from the Paawz house. See you tomorrow.